Okay, so we started by looking at the pillars of network marketing, which are the mindset, the skills, and the strategy, right? And then we looked at a definition of what really is a network marketing objection. And we went further to examine 10 reasons why people raise objections, right? You got to understand that people raise objections because of misconceptions, fear of failure, financial concerns, lack of understanding, skepticism about success, personal limitations, concerns about relationships, ethical and moral reservations, preference for stability, and of course, personal values and priorities. We now went further to look at how to prevent most objections from coming up in the first place, right? So that people don't make these objections in the first place. And we looked at, we examined different things that we needed to do, which include educating the prospects, clear communications, leading with value, building trust and credibility, focus on relationship building, providing social proof, offering comprehensive training and support, and setting realistic expectations. And of course, we went further to look at broad spectrum of objections, which included legitimacy concerns, time constraints, financial constraints, lack of sales experience, previous negative experiences, skepticism about success, concerns about social circles, product or service quality, commitment to traditional employment, age or experience-related concerns, technology barriers, geographical limitations, ethical or moral reservations, and of course, we looked at personal preferences or values. And we went further to examine why we must handle objections, why we must learn how to handle objections, right? And of course, we understood that we must learn in order to build trust and credibility, to strengthen relationships, to enhance our communication skills, to overcome resistance, differentiate us from the competitors, foster the growth mindset in us, drive results. And then we also understood that until we learn how to handle objections, our growth in the business will only be limited, right? So we went through all this stuff. And then we now looked at the mindsets for handling objections. We looked at the mindset for handling objections, which included welcoming the objections, not being confrontational, listening to understand, acknowledging their concerns, educating the prospects, sharing credible information with them, clearly articulating your solution to them because you're actually helping them get a solution, encouraging them to take action, not tomorrow, now, right? So we also understood other mindsets, which including building trust and rapport with the prospects, listening to them to understand and not listening to reply, right? Empathizing with them and validating their objections so that they understand, clarifying and confirming, and we agree with them on common grounds. We show appreciation, we set expectations, we invite them, we ask them to be open to dialogue, say whatever it is you want to say, and to demonstrate expertise. We need to demonstrate expertise and maintain professionalism. And I went forward to give you guys some important notes. I also gave you guys steps to handling objections. And now we're moving to the next step, which are some of the core things that we need to do before going into the art of taking the objections themselves, which is leading questions to ask your prospects. On Saturday, I said over and over again that we need to be able to build trust and credibility. And building trust and credibility has a lot to do with us being able to ask the right questions, right? It has a lot to do with us being able to ask the right questions. So right now, we're going to go straight into that discussion. So if you plan on having your prospects become your friend, become that person that you really want to run your business with, you want to make sure that that person, you are asking that person the right questions that will soften the ground and make that person become your friend. Sorry, we are creating a YouTube link so that we can get people to join us on YouTube. All right, so these questions that you are going to be seeing here are questions that you need to learn. Now, you must not necessarily use all of them according to how it is written, but these are questions that should hang around your mindset, hang around your mind. So as you it should be something in your toolkit of handling objections, right? So that as people, bring up their objections, you can pull out these questions one by one, and use these questions to guide them towards making the decision to join your business, right? Because everything starts from the kind of words, the communication you use, how you can get these people to become your friends. So I am posting the YouTube link now. So please send out the link across all channels. So let us examine some of these leading questions that will, we need to take care of. We should ask our prospects as we work with them towards making the decision to join the business. Now, I love to start with the words of Matt Morris because this is timeless. Mr. Prospect, do you want to do this business? You really want to be discussing with somebody who is interested in doing the business. That is the man you want to be talking to. You don't want to be talking to somebody who has no interest in running the business whatsoever, right? Because those people will ensure that, will not start the business and put you under pressure. You want to be able to close everybody who is closable. The idea behind handling objection is to get you to such level in this business where you can close everybody who is closable. That's what we're talking about. You want to be able to close everybody who is closable. And who is a person that is closable? A person that is closable is someone that has some interest in the business. The idea behind handling objection. The person has some interest in the business. The person is ready to will want to do the business if he or she has the money, right? But the person has legitimate concerns that will stop him. And now that is the person you want to speak to, right? So, Mr. Prospect, do you want to do this business? The question that follows right after that, because most times they'll tell you, yes, they want to do the business. If I didn't want to do the business, I wouldn't show up. I wouldn't have come. Story. Ask him the second one. Mr. Prospect, do you really want to do this business? Or is your decision to insert the objection here? If he says, I don't have time, is your saying, I don't have time? If he says, I don't have money, is your saying, I don't have money? If he says, I want to start at the end of the month, is your decision to start at the end of the month? Insert that objection here. So, Mr. Prospect, do you really want to do this business? Or is your decision to your objection a polite way of saying you are not interested? Because either way, I am cool with it. Either way, I am okay with it. You want to make him know this is your thing. If you want to do this, great, do it with you. If you don't want to do this, no big deal at all, right? And in almost all cases, they'll tell you, I want to do the business. It's just that blah, blah, blah. If he tells you, I don't want to do the business, then you probably don't need that kind of person. You need to understand that we called him Mr. Prospect. Prospect. The word prospect came from the time when people were going out in search of gold. They call them prospectors, people who are going to prospect for gold, right? So that you are prospecting does not mean you will get. We need to have that mindset. So Mr. Prospect is somebody who may or may not join us. So when he tells us he is not interested in the business, of course, we're not going to just throw him away that way. We're going to give him what I call the 6 months treatment. Mr. Prospect, no big deal at all. But may I know, why are you not interested in the business? What is it about the business that you really are not cool with? And he tells you and you handle it. But if he tells you, I don't just want to do the business, whatever, give him a 6 months treatment. What is the 6 months treatment? You write his name in your diary 6 months from the day you talk to him. 6 months from that day. So that in 6 months' time, you meet him again, right? Now, can I ask you a couple of questions, Mr. Prospect? What is your most important selfish goal? What is the most important selfish goal you have? You want to ask him what his selfish goal is. What is your selfish goal? They will tell you. You know, for many people, they will start telling you how they want to train, they want to help the poor. No, we're not asking you what you want to do for the poor. We're asking you about your own personal selfish goals. I am showing you how to handle objections right now, right? So you can see that sometimes I'm buttressing on the lines on the screen. So we're not asking you what yes, we know you want to help the poor, but we're asking for your own selfish goals, those things that move you, that drive you as a person. The Bible says for you to be able to love your neighbors, you must love them as you love yourself. What that means is that you must practice how to love yourself first before you love your neighbor, right? Before you learn how to love your neighbor, so practice on yourself. So for yourself, what do you really want to do for yourself? What is your selfish goal? Now they tell you, I want to become a millionaire, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever it is, right? You are bringing that to fore so that they can see that goal for themselves. You ask him, when would you like to achieve that goal? When would you like to achieve that goal? These are some core questions that you might want to write down, right? What are you willing to do to get that goal? What are you willing to do to get that goal? The guy tells you, my goal is my selfish goal is to send my child to Canada. So how soon would you like to achieve that goal? The guy said, I want to be able to do that within the next 1 year, 2 years, by the way, blah, 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 right? You ask him that. What are you willing to do to get it? Because sometimes you need to make them understand. When you're asking them what they are willing to do, you are making it possible for them to understand that they are going to join this business is also part of what they should be willing to do. Getting the money to start up this business should be part of what they are willing to do, right? So what are you willing to do? Most times they'll tell you, I'm willing to do anything, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do that, right? You want to ask them, are you sure you are willing to do whatever it takes? If they tell you yes, they're willing to do whatever it takes, signing up into this business is one of what it takes, right? So you also ask them, because now the idea is to bring questions, is to make them understand that, probably to make them understand that they need to do something different to enable them get what they want. So with what you are currently doing full-time, Mr. Prospect, he knows what he's doing. You don't know what he's doing, right? He might be working in the post office for crying out loud. So with what you are currently doing, Mr. Prospect, do you see yourself achieving all your money-dependent dreams in the next 5 years? You want to use the phrase, money-dependent dreams. Let it be something that depends on money, right? Because the moment you ask them, do you see yourself attaining all your dreams in the next 5 years? Some of them, their dreams might be to sleep that night and wake up the next morning. Their dream might be, one kind of obscure dream that's, but you want them to know, because the truth is this: it is money you use to solve all the problems you want, almost all the problems you want to solve in life. You use money to solve them, right? Somebody said, money cannot solve everything. We understand, we know money cannot solve everything. We also know that money is very important, right beside oxygen. So if oxygen is important, money is very, very important, right? So also need to understand that when they tell you that money cannot buy everything, we know money cannot buy everything. Can you show me one thing that poverty can buy? Money can buy most things, but can you show me one thing that poverty can buy? Now, that's a deviation. It's all about the mindset, right? So with what you are currently doing full-time, what you do every day, do you see yourself achieving all your money-dependent dreams in the next 5 years? Do you see yourself? Most sincere people will tell you no. Some proud people will tell you yes. Meanwhile, they work in the post office and they have been working there for the last 15, 20 years, and it has not given them what they're looking for. But you don't know what's pushing them, right? They say when you see a lizard dancing in the middle of the road, what is playing the drum for it might be in the forest. So you might also ask them after that question, although you've asked them with what you're currently doing full-time, do you see yourself achieving all your money-dependent dreams in the next 5 years? Next, you want to ask them, what are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams to come true? What are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams to come true? Time, money, pleasure. What are you willing to sacrifice? It is you. Let me tell you what you are doing. These questions, most prospects will answer them one by one. You're having a casual conversation with them, right? Can I ask you a couple of questions, Mr. Prospect? What is your most important selfish goal you have today? When would you like to achieve those goals? You're having a conversation. What are you willing to do to get it? With what you're currently doing today full-time, do you see yourself achieving all your money-dependent dreams in the next 5 years? What are you willing to sacrifice for your dreams to come true? Money, time, pleasure. What are you willing to sacrifice? Let me tell you something. When you ask these questions, take a screenshot of this screen. When you ask these questions, what you have ended up doing is that you have made that person, you have endeared yourself to that person. Now, some people might be resistant to answer your questions. No problem. Remember, we are not looking for everybody to join our business. We are prospecting. We are looking for only a category of people who we believe are the people that we want in our business, right? So, having gotten those leading questions, you need to ask your prospect before you address his objections. In fact, if you get this right, you would have become one of the best closers in the world. So what I want every one of you today to do is this. Take these questions, right? Take these questions, these 6 questions, and memorize them. Memorize these 6 questions. Memorize them in the order it comes. And when somebody has seen the business, take them through these questions. The idea is to build them up, right? When they bring their objections, build them up. When the objection comes, you've seen the objection, but you're going to take them through the process, right? So let's look at some strategies for handling some of the most common objections and what I call tips of the trade, right? I will give you the objections and I'll give you some tips of the trade that you should know. These tips are there to help you. These tips are actual lines that you can throw in to help you learn how to handle objections, right? Now, for us to do that, we need to first of all get the 5 killer steps, what I call 5 killer steps to handle objections, right? 5 killer steps to handle objections. Remember to take as much screenshots as you can. As much screenshots as you can, right? Step number 1, welcome the objection. Welcome the objection. When somebody makes an objection, welcome the objection, right? Number 2, rephrase the objection. Rephrase the objection. Number 3, educate the prospects. Educate the prospect. Number 4, diffuse the objections. Diffuse the objections. Number 5, go for the kill. Go for the kill, right? So take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Now, when somebody brings up an objection, the first thing you want to do is to welcome the objection. Now, I didn't put any write-up as to how you welcome the objection in the training, but basically what you want to do is to accept the objection. Thank him for that objection, right? Mr. John, you said you don't have time to do this business. I want you to understand that I truly appreciate your being sincere with me. I appreciate your sincerity. There are lots of people that will come and say they want to do the business and they have the time, but they end up not showing up to do the business because they had no time. But for you to upfront tell me you don't have the time, I appreciate your being forward with me. For you to tell me you don't have money, I appreciate your being forward with me, right? That you don't have the money to start this business. I appreciate that very, very well. Are you with me? And there are other ways you can also do that. You can also do that by using the feel, felt, found method. Sorry, not feel, 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 felt, found, right? I know how you feel. That's how you feel, how you're welcoming. I know how you feel. I felt the same way, but let me tell you what I found. Now, this goes a little deeper than just welcoming the objections. But you want to welcome the objection. You have to make the person understand that you know what you appreciate what he's talking about, right? Next, you want to rephrase the objection back to them in a complex question, right? Mr. Prospect, I would like to clearly understand what you mean when you say, I don't have time. I would like to clearly understand what you mean when you say, I don't have money. I would like to clearly understand what you mean when you say, I want to think about it, right? Are you saying that even though you know, remember you've already asked him, do you want to do this business and the rest of them? And he says yes. You welcome his objection and you now go ahead and tell him, Mr. Prospect, I will clearly, are you saying that even though you know that this cash flow model can help you build a part-time business or a part-time cash flow pipeline? Use the word pipeline. Mr. Prospect, I would like to clearly understand what you mean. Are you saying that even though you know that this cash flow model can help you build a part-time cash flow pipeline, you will not start this business right away because you infuse the objection? Mr. Prospect, I would like you to clearly understand what you mean. Are you saying that even though you know that this cash flow model can help you build a part-time cash flow pipeline that can help you increase your cash flow by as much as 300% over the next 6 months to 12 months? You will not start this business, you will not start right away because you infuse the objection. You infuse the objection because you say you don't have time, because you don't have the time, because you don't have the money, because you want to speak to your spouse, right? This is a way to rephrase the objection back to him. When you do this, what is happening is that he's re-examining, he's comparing his objection to the benefits of doing the business, right? You are making them that you are telling that he knows that this system can build a cash flow pipeline for him that can pay him between 300,000 naira to 500,000 naira monthly, or improve his that can double his monthly income over the next 3 months to 6 months. But he's not going to do it because he says he doesn't have the time. So when you do that, the guy will start comparing, okay, this is my excuse and the benefits. I am juxtaposing both of them. And in many cases, he would try to defend himself, right? So you want to have this because this is part of what you do before you actually handle the objection itself, right? So the first objection we're going to be looking at is it's a pyramid scheme. Is it a pyramid scheme? Now, there are so many versions of these objections. Is it a pyramid scheme? Only those at the top make all the money, and a host of others, right? Is this something like MMM, blah, 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 whatever they want to say? What are you going to be doing? I'm giving under each objections, I'll be giving you 3 parts to handling it. For the pyramid scheme objection, first, acknowledge their concerns. Show empathy and understanding towards their apprehensions because they're apprehensive. Number 2, educate them. Educate them. Explain the differences between legitimate network marketing business and illegal pyramid schemes, right? highlight the emphasis on selling genuine products or services, which is what we have in our product, and the absence of a recruitment-focused compensation plan where there are no products or services exchanged. Because in a pyramid scheme, all you are doing is recruiting people and there are no products or services being exchanged. But in our own, there are products and services that are being exchanged. So you want to make them understand that this is not a pyramid scheme. Tell them what is a pyramid scheme. Tell them what is a network marketing organization. This is where you want to make them understand that in a network marketing organization, products are moved from a customer, from the company to a customer, right? Removing the middleman. You want them to understand how the channel of distribution looks like. When somebody is bringing a pyramid scheme objection, you want to take your time to explain. So the idea is educate them. So what is the education you're going to give to them? I will give you how to educate on the pyramid scheme. You want to start by discussing the differences between a network marketing business and traditional businesses, because that's what people know. And for an example, this bottled water, Seaway, right? I might be produced in the factory at the cost of just 30 naira production cost. The company Seaway adds 20 naira to their profit to make it to as profit and sells Seaway to a national distributor. The national distributor takes it and adds 10 naira and sells it to a regional distributor. It is now 16 naira. Regional distributor adds 10 naira, sells it to a state distributor. It is now 17 naira. State distributor takes it, adds 10 naira, sells it to a wholesale shop. It is now 18 naira. Wholesale shop adds 10 naira, sells it to a retail shop. It is now 90 naira. Retail shop adds 10 naira, sells it to you. It is now 100 naira. You bought your Seaway water for 100 naira. It came out of the factory at 30 naira. If you had gone to the factory to buy, you would have bought it at 50 naira. The company will have made money still. But now, because of the people in between who do nothing in the value chain except buying in bulk and selling to people who could not buy as much as they could buy, have added money all across the chain, and now you are the one paying everybody on the chain. So by doing that, you can see that you have paid more than you should have paid ordinarily. Now, how did you know that Seaway even exists in the first place? Seaway will do a lot of adverts, spend millions in adverts. And guess what? Because of those adverts, you are aware that they exist, you are aware that the water is good, and guess what happens? You now go and buy from them. That is how a traditional business is. But how does the network marketing organization function? What happens in a network marketing organization is very, very simple. Those middlemen, national distributors, state people, and the rest of them are all removed from the equation. And the company comes into the country where you are, and they open their own warehouse there. They take care of registering the product, they take care of everything, and they bring the product from their country or from wherever they manufacture it, and they put the product in their warehouse in the country where you are, removing the middleman, bringing down the cost. Secondly, how do I know that that product exists? The company uses what is called word of mouth advertising because it's very, very powerful. How does that work? If you have sensitive tooth, right? Problem with your tooth, and you have been seeing this advert on radio saying that close-up cures sensitive tooth. You hear it on radio, TV, you see giant billboards all over the place saying close-up cures sensitive tooth. And you walk into a supermarket to buy a toothpaste to cure your sensitive tooth. I am very sure you go for close-up because that's what they talk in town. That's what everybody knows about. But as you are about to pick your close-up, you see your sister, who you know used to have sensitive tooth. And she tells you, what are you doing? You say, I want to buy close-up for my sensitive tooth. She tells you, no. I use Oral-B, and Oral-B cured my sensitive tooth in 24 hours. Would you still buy close-up, or would you buy Oral-B that your sister just told you cured her sensitive tooth in 24 hours? You will go for the Oral-B. That is the power of the power of the word of mouth advertising. And that is what network marketing does. So when the company comes to Nigeria, what they do is that they gather people together in what is called a business opportunity meeting, which is what we do when we show people the presentation. And they show you the product. And they tell you that these products are powerful products and these products can make you healthy. And after showing you the product, they also show you a business plan attached to using and selling the product and creating a network of users of the product. And that plan is called a compensation plan. And they tell you that this compensation plan can make you wealthy. And when they show us that, what do? We buy from the company. We bought from the company directly at a lower price than we would have bought if there were middlemen inside. And the company pays a referral bonus to the people who invited us to come into the business. So you can see that we were paid because the company makes profit. By joining and buying seaway water from the company or whatever the product is in our company, the company makes a profit through our product purchase that allowed us to join them, that we use in joining them. The company divides that profit into two, 60% and 40%. That's typically what most network marketing companies do, because there are real life products in a network marketing company or services being rendered. So they divide it into two, 40% and 60%. The companies typically, most companies keep 40% for themselves, which they use to pay 40% of their profit. That's what they're dividing, which they use to pay their board of directors. They use that to pay their staff and everything and keep for themselves, right? For running the company, for research and development. 60% of their profit, the company puts it in a global pool of profits. And from that global pool of profits, the company has developed a compensation plan that is designed to ensure that that global pool of profit never runs dry. It's a highly computerized system. You don't need to know the system, how it's been done at the ground state. All we know is that from that system, the company tells us that whenever you sign up somebody on the left and somebody on the right, 7,000 naira enters your account. And that's how we are paid, from the profit the company is making. But you know what a pyramid scheme is. A pyramid scheme have no products, they have no service, they have no company, they have no presence, they have no product that people can use. And all they are doing is telling you, bring people, bring one, bring two, bring one, bring two. You bring people, you join them, and they pay the person that brought them, right? As more people join at the bottom, you are paying. So you see, it's like a pyramid. More people are joining at the bottom. And as more people are joining, the man at the top is making more money. You can never make money beyond the person who brought you in a pyramid scheme. Then what typically happens is there comes a time when people need money so much. And this typically happens around festive seasons. During Christmas, Easter, Salah celebrations, Independence, people want to now start pulling their money out from a pyramid scheme in bulk. And what happens is that the pyramid scheme crashes. Because from the bottom, as people are moving their money, the money can no longer be sustained at the top. And it crashes because there are no products and because they are not paid from profits. So when you understand what a pyramid scheme really is, you understand that our business is not a pyramid scheme. So you want to explain to them, right? Share credible information with them, provide evidence of the company so that the company's credentials, right? Send them to our website, Empowered Consumerism website. Let them go there and see what it's all about. And then they know that, yes, this is a company. Talk about how long the company has been, 10 years in Nigeria, how long they have been in the world globally, how they have been paying people over the last how many years. You want to give them the information they need. Clear that out, right? Clear that out. This is how you handle the pyramid scheme objection. So, tips of the trade for how to handle the pyramid scheme objection. You also want to round up by letting them know something like this. Network marketing pays you what you are worth, and it can also pay you more than your upline. So, if I could show you how everyone has an equal chance to build their organization to the very top, would you like to hear a little bit more? If I could show you how everyone has equal chance to build their organization to the very top, would you like to hear a little bit more? And when they say yes, they want to hear a little bit more, what are you going to show them? I will tell you what you will show them at the end of this training, right? At the end of handling each of those objections, I will tell you what you will show, what you have to show them. Next objection, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Please screenshot this pyramid scheme. Screenshot it now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't have enough time. Step 1, highlight flexibility. Emphasize the flexible nature of network marketing because it allows individuals to build a business at their own pace and at their own schedule, right? You showcase time management strategies. Share examples of people who have come into this business who had no time, right? But who were able to balance their commitments with other activities they were doing, and they were able to build a business. Bankers who were able to show up after work. People who were able to do their business in between their work time. People who were able to look for free times in between their busy moments to do the business. Share strategies with them. How they can run the business, part-time, full-time, spare time. How they can run the business weekends, show them strategies. Focus on priorities. Help them identify priorities and areas where they can allocate time effectively to build their businesses gradually. Let them know how they can do it. They can not only put a table in their homes, They can actually get home and just go to the table, sit down there, avoid all distractions, and knock in 1 hour for this business into the business, 1 or 2 hours a day. Discuss it with them. They must not show up in your office to do the business. But if you're able to help them align themselves, they can be able to get started. They can be able to do the business even if they are busy, right? So, tips of the trade for this particular objection. When somebody tells you, I don't have time, you also want to include in the conversation, how would you like to never say that again? How would you like to never use time as an excuse again? In the nicest possible way, you can say to them, Juliet, in any day, there are 24 hours. If you spend 8 hours working, that means you work very hard. If you spend 8 hours sleeping, that means you don't joke to sleep. You sleep how the doctor asks you to sleep. You still have 8 hours in the day left to chase your dreams. Juliet, let us even assume you work very hard. You spend 12 hours at work, 8 hours sleeping. You have 4 hours to chase your dreams. Let us say you spend 2 hours in traffic, 8 hours at work. I mean, 12 hours at work, right? 8 hours sleeping. You still have 2 hours to chase your dreams. Let us even say you're a prayer warrior. You spend 1 hour every day praying. You still have 1 hour left to chase your dreams. So you see, Juliet, you will agree with me. You will agree with me. That's the phrase you want to use, right? This enables you to speak like a consultant. You will agree with me that it is not about having time, but about setting time out of your free time to build your dreams. If your dreams are important to you, it's about setting time out of your free time to build your dreams. So, Juliet, if I could show you our 6 months plan to increase your cash flow by 300% without interfering with your current job and with just 1 hour per day of your time, would you be interested in taking a look? Screenshot. Would you be interested in taking a look? Take a screenshot. Now, this part under is the part I said I will show you later, but I will still bring it up later on, but I will be putting it up from time to time. If I could show you our 6 months plan to increase your cash flow by as much as 300% without interfering with your current job and with just 1 hour per day, would you be interested in taking a look? If he says yes, he will be interested in taking a look. You will show him something before you ask him to make the commitment. I will show you that later on, right? I hope you're taking screenshots. Next, I don't have enough money to start. This is I don't have money. What do? 3 steps. Discuss low startup options for him, right? Because for many people, they tick in their interest form that they want to do the account of 999990. They want to go for the Maximus account, the biggest account, the Elite pack. Meanwhile, they don't have the money. Anybody that tells you he does not have the money, never discuss any pack higher than the lowest possible pack. Never discuss any package higher than the lowest possible option. Let them start with the lowest possible option first before you now start moving them to the higher options, right? So you want to highlight the minimal investment required to start this system compared to traditional businesses. You want to make them understand how affordable our business is, right? Even a simple barbing salon, how much will it take you to start? Very, very important you understand that. You want to explain return of investment. For those of them who are going for higher packages, you want them to understand how they can get returns. You also want them to understand how fast this business can pay them. Anybody coming in, by the very next day, you're already making money in the business. You want to make them see how lucrative the business system is, right? And how fast you can make back your money in the business through team building as you're going to work with your leaders and work with your teams. And you have to also offer support, provide guidance to them on how they can raise money to get started. Provide guidance. I tell people sometimes I tell people that they can actually borrow money to get started. Some people find it not really good. When we tell people to borrow money, I borrowed for myself, the one I started with. I know many leaders that borrowed and started. And today our lives have changed. I know people who refuse to borrow, who say they never borrow in their life. And they're still broke, they're still poor, they're still where they were. I keep telling you guys that the biggest refinery in Africa that was built by Dangote, that refinery was built with borrowed money. Rich men borrow money to do businesses. Poor men borrow money to spend. If it's going to take you borrowing 50,000 naira to get started, get it done. And research also showed that 95% of businesses that start without investor equity fail because it's your own money. You can afford to lose it. But compared to 65% of businesses that fail with investor equity. So the probability of failing without investor equity is higher than when you are failing, than when you have investor equity in your business. So if somebody tells me I don't have money, I'll tell you go and borrow. When you borrow, it is investor equity. You don't want to be embarrassed. You have to raise the money to pay. Then you'll be compelled to do the business, right? Now, it might not sound good to some people, but that is entirely their problem. You might also want to show them different borrowing options, how you can break the money. Let's say you want to start with a 50,000 naira package. You can borrow 10,000 naira from 5 people. You can borrow 20,000 naira from 2 people, 10,000 naira from 1 person. You can borrow 5,000 naira from 10 people. Help them see how to get started. Your job is to provide them with solution. Your job is not to give them the money. Because the truth is, if this piece of artwork does not contain water, no matter how hard I press this piece of artwork, no matter how I squeeze this artwork, water will not come out of it because there's no water in it. So if that man does not have money, he does not have money. What do you need to do? Show him strategies that he can understand, assimilate, and use to raise the money to start his business. And of course, you will still take him back to tips of the trade. Jane, this is where you build his emotional quotient to help him understand that he needs to do something out of the ordinary. Jane, let's say I am your brother and I drop unconscious. The doctor tells you that if you don't bring 50,000 naira for surgery, which is the minimum amount of money you need to start the business, you want to use that amount, I will die within 24 hours. You look at the person, Jane, will you let me die? Keep quiet and let her answer. Unless Jane is somebody that was sent from the pit of hell, she will tell you she will not let you die. If they dance around the question, bring them back to the question. Jane, it's not a trick question. It is not a trick question. If I drop now, I'm your brother, put yourself on the spot. Don't say if your brother. Don't say if your child. Use yourself as an example, right? Some people are so superstitious that they will not even use themselves in the example. No problem. When you're unable to handle these objections, it's entirely in your body, it's entirely in your court. It is your life, it's not my life, right? So Jane, let us say I am your brother. I drop unconscious and you rush me to the doctor. And the doctor tells you that if you don't bring 50,000 naira for my surgery in the next 24 hours, I will die. Jane, will you let me die? She said, no, I will not let you die. What will you do next? Next, you want to tell Jane, what will you do so you don't let me die? What will you do to make sure I don't die? Right? Jane, she will tell you, hey, I'm going to run around, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. I'll ask them again, why would you run around? I've already asked them, will you let me die? What will you do to ensure I don't die? Why would you run around? Why would you go out? Why would you do whatever it takes to find the money? They'll tell you because I'm your brother. I'll tell them, no, that's not the answer. They'll say because blood is thicker than water, or whatever they want to say. No, that's not the answer. They'll be shocked because they know that's the answer for them. And what do you respond? You respond, Jane, the answer is simple: urgency. This is an urgent situation. If the doctor had told you I will die in the next 20 years, it won't be urgent for you. You will wait until you have the time and the money without stress to make it happen. But right now, I have only 24 hours. It has put you under pressure, and now you will go all out to make it happen. You see, Jane, you want to be that person who declares a state of emergency on their bank account. Whatever it is that you need to do to make sure I don't die, if you can raise the money for my surgery, you can raise the money to start the business. You can do that thing. If you make it important, you can do that thing. You can go all out to make it happen, right? If you make it important enough, Jane, the money will show up. It is all about making a decision to get the money to start the business. What you are doing is bringing Jane to a position of understanding, to a place where she becomes open-minded to do whatever it takes to raise the money and get started. She stops looking at her excuses and begins to look at how to raise the money to get started in the business. Then you come in. If I could show you our 6 months plan to increase your cash flow by 300% over the next 3 months to 6 months, would you look for the money right away and get started in the business? Right? So the tips of the trade, you might want to modify those last words to fit what you are doing. If I could show you our 6 months plan to increase your cash flow by as much as 300% over the next 6 months to 12 months, would you look for the money to get started today? Would you do whatever it takes to get started? They will say, yes, I will. So what do? Show them the 6 months plan. I will come to the 6 months plan much later. Next one, I am not a salesperson. They can also tell you, I don't know how to sell. When you encounter the objection, I am not a salesperson, I don't know how to sell, what do? Step one, reframe the mindset. Reframe the mindset. You want to make them understand that our business is more about sharing enthusiasm for the product and the opportunity than traditional sales techniques. We're not here to sell. We're here to create a network of happy users of our products. And we are being paid for building a network of happy users of our product, whether we are the ones selling or we're not the ones selling. You want to reframe the mindset. But in as much as you are reframing the mindset, you want to make them understand that you can never become a successful person if you don't know how to sell. You can never become a millionaire if you don't know how to sell. All successful businesses in the world are run by people who understand that sales are important. They all sell. Microsoft being run by Bill Gates sells. Apple Computer sells. Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX sells. Warren Buffett sells. Everything about the world is sales. Even God sells. He sells the kingdom of heaven to us. And for those of us who buy into the kingdom of heaven, he gives us he makes us children and sons of his kingdom. So if God can sell the opportunity to us, why wouldn't you want to sell this opportunity to your friends? So you want to make people understand that we are all selling. Most times, even in our homes, we are selling. We are selling our mindsets. We are selling our ideas. We are selling our desires, our wants to our loved one at home. Your younger one wants to take the plate of food that has the plate of food that has the bigger meat, and you sell to him the reason why that plate of food that has the bigger meat should come to you and not to her, and she ends up giving it to you. Your brother wants to use his shoe, and you tell him that you want to use the shoe too. You sell to him why you want to use the shoe, and he gives it to you. We are all selling. It's just that some of us are doing it for free. So when somebody tells you, I am not a salesperson, he is talking about that person who is going out trying to sell the product to people all over the place. You make you understand that our business is not about selling. This is not a selling business. This is a training business. This is not a convincing business. This is a consultancy business. We are not here to sell and convince. We are here to train and consult. That is what we are doing. We are here to show people how beautiful an opportunity we have. Some will take it, some will not take it, right? You want to also ensure that you offer them access to trainings, that will help them develop their skills. Let them learn, let them know that we have systems, we have our sell meetings, our masterclasses, we have workshops, we have mentorship programs that are focused on developing communications, helping you become more persuasive and build relations and build your relationship building skills. These are some of the things you're going to benefit. And almost everybody wants this. They want to become more persuasive people. Sometimes when I talk to people, I tell them, right now I'm speaking to you, and you are listening to my word, and something in you is telling you, pay, pay, pay. And you are fighting, you are struggling to stop yourself from paying. Do you know why you want to pay? Because somehow you believe in what I'm saying, I am being more persuasive, and you really want to go ahead and pay. I will actually advise you, listen to that voice that is telling you to go pay and get paid. You know why? Because when you pay and come in, I will teach you the persuasion skills, or the business will teach you the persuasion skills that is making you want to pay right now, or the persuasion skills that will make you pay right away. I will teach you how that is being done. I mean, the person wants that. Everybody wants to be able to persuade people. Everybody wants to be able to influence people. Everybody wants to be able to speak, and people are following, right? So you can see that handling objections is not just about one answer, one answer, one question, one answer, one question, one answer. It's about the mindset. It's about the education, right? That's what you do. So you want to also share success stories. Introduce them to successful distributors who initially felt the same way, but overcame their doubts through practice and training. Tell them stories of people in the business who never knew how to sell, who are not salespeople, but who today have built big businesses. Why? Because they subjected themselves to mentorship. Speak the mentorship. In every objection you do, you want to emphasize the role of mentorship, especially in the Diamond Project. In every objection, emphasize the role of mentorship. We are here to help with this objection. We are here to help with this objection. So, tips of the trade. I've already mentioned it to you. Selling is something we do already. Show the prospect that we are selling all the time. We convince or we sell to people every day in what we eat, how we spend our time, how we spend our money, etc. You can make them understand there are two ways to sell. There's the annoying, stereotypical selling way that is pushy and annoying, and there's the friendly and the warm approach, which is what we're doing. Also make them understand that all financially successful people in the world had to sell at one point in time on their career. If they're no longer selling themselves, their companies are selling today. Because until you start selling, nobody will buy from you. No, you cannot become successful. Selling is what makes the world go round. Next objection. I have tried it before and it failed. I have tried it and it failed. Validate their experience. Acknowledge their past challenges and assure them that each experience is an opportunity for growth and learning. Never leave them with a mindset that they failed. When somebody said, I did it before and I failed, validate their past journey. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to hear about that. Can you tell me your story? You want to hear their story. Can you tell me your network marketing journey? How did it happen? What happened? Right? Validate their experience. Don't tell them you failed because you didn't do this, you failed because you didn't do that. But when they said something like that, validate their experience. Also, what you want to do is to make them understand that there is no such thing as failure, but feedback. Let them know that even one of the biggest businessmen in the world failed over and over again until they became successful, right? So never put the blame on them, but open the doors for them to be able to see that they can do better under mentorship. Highlight success stories of individuals who face setbacks, but persevered and ultimately achieve their goals in network marketing. Tell your own story. If you have your story, if you don't have your story, tell the stories of other people. That's what I said. For you to be a person who handles objections very well, you want to be a collector of stories. Become a collector of stories, right? Offer support and guidance. Assure them they won't be alone in their journey, and offer ongoing support, offer mentorship, resources to help them succeed around at this time around. Let them know that you are there. Let them know that the team is there. Always point to the team. Point to your leaders. Point to your leaders. It's not about you. Tell them that we are in this journey together. I'm in this journey with you. Together we can do this. Let us go and see this, our leader. Let us go meet this, our leader, to guide us, to direct us. We have a goal we are going for, and we're going to get that, right? Tips of the trade. Read stories. Tell me your story. Make sure you get the details about how they run the business and show them how the wiring set up with the right skills or expectations. Network marketing works if you work network marketing. So in many cases, you want to know what they have done, and you want to identify where it wasn't done well, where mentorship was not present, and fill that gap for them. Our team, the Diamond Project, is renowned for our skill development strategies. Would you be willing to give it a try with proper training from our leaders? Would you be willing to give it a try with proper training from our leaders? You want to ask them that. Because this time around, when we train them, they will get more results. Next, I need to think about it, or I want to think about it. This particular objection is huge, because for a lot of people, when somebody tells them I want to think about it, the next thing they say is, okay, no problem. When can I call you back? When can I call you back? You see, the truth is this: nobody thinks about anything. The moment somebody tells you I want to think about it, in 99% of the cases, they've dismissed you. They go right next to the next wine bottle in front of them. They drink their wine, they forget the business, they forget you, they forget everything, they go on their merry way. The next thing you hear from them, the moment you call them, I don't want to go into that business anymore. I don't want to do the business. They never gave it a thought from the moment they mentioned, I want to think about it. So this my objection is one that makes a whole lot of network marketers or salesmen generally to run away. There are different ways we can handle the I want to think about it objection. I'm going to give you one of the ways, right? But first of all, respect their decision. Respect their decision, right? Show understanding and respect their need to consider the opportunity carefully. Respect that. I will show you how to do that, right? Offer to provide information, testimonials, and resources to address any lingering doubts or questions they may have. When somebody tells you how to think about it, a lot of things are involved in that, right? And then set a follow-up. Agree on a specific time to follow up and discuss their decision further, right? Allowing them the space they need while demonstrating your commitment to their success. Now, listen carefully. Do this only if they insist on not starting right away. This last part, do it only if they insist on not starting right away. So how do you handle I want to think about it? I know this might sound like a lot to a lot of people coming up there, right? But you don't become an expert in day one. As you meet these objections, you will practice. You will practice. Sometimes you meet blind spots as you are trying to express the objections the way we've said it. Don't worry. You'll be rusty sometimes. You make mistakes sometimes. Wherever you meet a blind spot, just find a way of finding something from your head and patch it up, and you continue what you are doing and what you are saying. When you are done, guess what? Go back and review what you didn't do well. When that is done, you would have given yourself more experience in handling that objection. So, tips of the trade. I want to think about it. I want every one of you to pay attention carefully. When somebody tells you, I want to think about it, remember you're a consultant, right? So you reply in the nicest possible way. You reply in the nicest possible way. When someone says, I want to think about it, you say, Mr. Prospect, it makes a lot of sense to say you want to think about it because it is that important. Because it is that important. So you show him the business. You don't want him to leave. And the guy says, I want to think about it. Let me just run through my mind. Let me, just sleep over it and see what comes out. Mr. Prospect, it makes a lot of sense to say you want to think about it. You know why? Because it is that important. How long will you typically need to think about this challenge? How long would you typically need to think about this challenge? Ask him to give you a time. He might say 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, right? It does not matter what he says. Even if he tells you 1 year, it does not matter what he says. Whatever he says, double it. Whatever number he gives you, double it. If he gives you 1 week, double it to 2 weeks. If he gives you 5 days, double it to 10 days. Then, once you double it, say the following. Mr. Prospect, you said you need a week to think about it. I think you must think about it because it is that important. This is what we are going to do. I will give you 2 weeks so that we can be sure you cross the T's and dot the I's. Don't feel pressure at all. Did we get that? Mr. Prospect, you said you needed a week to think about it. I think you must think about it because it is that important. This is what we're going to do. I will give you 2 weeks so we can be sure that you cross the T's and dot the I's. Don't feel pressured at all. Right? I hope you're taking screenshots. Don't feel pressured at all. Next, you continue. No matter, listen carefully. You are telling him still, no matter how long it takes for you to think about it, Mr. Prospect, you must arrive at the answer to the following 3 questions, to these 3 questions to make a decision, because this is the thinking process every smart human being must follow. No matter how long it takes you to think about it, you must arrive at the answer to these 3 questions to make the decision to start, to make the decision, right? Question number 1, you must answer is, do I like this business? Question number 2, can I afford to start this business? And question number 3, should I go ahead and start this business right away? So you see, Mr. Prospect, you can take as long or as short as you like, but be sure to arrive at the answers to these 3 questions, because that is a process every smart person like you will have to go through when they think about it. Because this is a thinking process. Do I like the business? Can I afford to start this business? Should I go ahead and start this business right away? So when you say this, what you need to basically do next is just to pause, right? Pause. Sometimes you need to be a little dramatic for you to get people to, to join you. Pause. 3 seconds to 5 seconds, and then you turn back your process. You come back to the process and you ask the process again. By the way, Mr. Prospect, can I ask you a couple of questions? He said, yeah, go ahead. You ask him the first question. Do you like this business? Now you're asking him the 3 questions that he said he's going to think about. Do you like this business? If they like the business, you're going to move to the next step. If they don't like the business, find out what they don't like and handle that challenge. If you say, no, they don't like the business, okay, what is about the business you don't like? Then handle the challenge. Because you see, they were actually not going to think about it, but it's because they don't like it. They don't like something about it. So you handle that stuff and you take it over again. But if they tell you they like the business, what do? You proceed as follows. Mr. Prospect, you alone being the sole judge, can you afford to start this business now? You can see I'm asking the second question. He already told me from the first answer that he liked the business. From the second answer, I've now asked him, can you afford to start the business? You alone being the sole judge, not any other person, you alone being the sole judge. Can you afford to start this business now? You say, I cannot start the business now because I don't have the money. Now you know his problem was not thinking. His problem was not, I want to think about it. His problem was actually, I don't have money. So you are now going to handle the money objections, right? So you're no longer handling time objection, you're handling money objection. Because most time when they say, I want to think about it, there is an underlying thing that they are considering. Your job is to help escapade that underlying thing. It can be caused by lack of money or some other objection, right? So, but if they say no, it means they're problem in finance, so you handle the money objection. If they say yes, it means they have the money to sign up. And once they say yes, they have money to sign up, you move automatically into what in sales we call assumptive close. Assumptive close, you are not waiting for the person to tell you, I will do it or I'll not do it. You assume they're already going to sign up, right? So you don't ask them if they're going to start now. You simply ask them which package would they like to start up with right away. You discover that you're not asking them the third question, right? The third question, which is, should I go ahead and start the business right away? You're not asking that question. You are already assuming they will start. So you only ask the first two questions, and then if the second question is positive, that they have the money to get started, go into assumptive close. Because one, they already like the business. Two, they are the sole judge, they can do it, they can start it now. Next, you want to do assumptive close. So what do? You ask them, which of the packaging would you like to start with right away? You give them the account number, do your transfer. You bring out the interest form, fill the interest form for them. I'm filling out the interest form now. You write their name, write everything. Which account would you like to transfer to right away? You are assuming they will buy, right? Now, as you are asking them the package they're willing to pay for, you are writing down the account number for them, you are filling out the interest form, you are assuming they are starting right away. In sales, it's called assumptive close. If any other objection comes up, right, handle it the appropriate way. Sometimes they'll say, but I don't have time, I don't have money, whatever. So you can see that most times from the I want to think about it, you enter another objection, which is the true objection they actually have. Handle the objection the proper way. Next, I am not interested. I'll be rounding up with this one for today. I am not interested. When someone tells you I'm not interested, what do? Look for reasons. Would likely inquire about the reasons behind their lack of interest to uncover their underlying concerns and misconceptions. Probe for a reason. I'm not interested. Why not break me through? What is it about our business that you're not interested in? What's about the business that makes you uninterested? What's it about it? Probe for a reason. Let them tell you. I don't like how people pressure people. Whatever they say, you can now educate them. Your job is education. When you understand that our business is all about conversations, it takes away the pressure. It takes away the pressure. Educate and inform them. Address the objection with factual information, testimonials, and personal experiences that may resonate with their interests or needs. Right? Respect their decision. If they remain uninterested after discussion, gracefully accept their decision and maintain positive relationship for potential future opportunities or referrals. Give them the 6 months treatment. So if someone is not interested, you don't pressure them, but educate them, and then if they are still not interested, guess what? You give them the 6 months treatment. They must not join you now. There are people who come in, see your presentation and leave, and they show up months later, some even years later, and they come right up to you to do the business. By then, something would have changed for them. Everybody calls it a clock. People join at 12 o'clock. But sometimes you meet some people at 1 o'clock. They're not ready to join. Everything is going well for them. You meet them at 6 o'clock, by 4 o'clock, everything is still going well for them. By 6 o'clock, things are going well for them. By 7 o'clock, things are beginning to become difficult for them. By 9 o'clock, things are really tough, but they are still hanging in their jobs or whatever it is they're doing. By 11 o'clock, they get fired from their job, or something must have drastically changed. They may have 3 kids now. They need to pay for education, for university education for their kids. So many things happening around them. Now they become open-minded. It is now 12 o'clock for them. And if you meet them, if you talk to them, they get started. Sometimes they will look for you by themselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still on handling objections professionally. We're going to round up tomorrow. We'll still have a masterclass tomorrow. We're going to round up tomorrow. You're going to see how we're going to round up how to handle these objections, and also give you other strategies that you might need to after taking the objection, how do you now conclusively go for the kill? I told you the last part is to go for the kill. What do you do? How do you go for the kill? What do you show them? If you take up all we tell you, run these things how we tell you, you will build a formidable and fantastic business. All right, so we're going to continue that tomorrow.